Hello everyone, this is Ramakant Gupta. I have total 17 plus years of experience into IT industry. I choose today's topic. I chose about a Genix. So what is a Genix and why I chose? I just want to give a brief introduction about Genix. So after Java 8 has come into picture, if you see the functional programming, function programming is aggressively using Genix. So for the developers, right, becomes very much challenging to understand if any just like let me take you a simple example. There is one consumer. This is one interface, and if you see this consumer, right, so consumer is expecting some kind of input type, and this is consumer interface. This is expecting some kind of input. It has some method which this input type is being passed. That's it, right? This is a simple for the simple consumer, but there are a lot of complex functions. There are a lot of complex interfaces, right, which it becomes very difficult for the uh, beginners or for the developers to understand what input parameters to pass, what output parameters are expected, right? So my intention is to just give you brief idea what is Genix, and how we write the syntax. What is the syntax for writing a Genix in Java, right? So basically, if you see, right, uh, what is Genix? So Genix is nothing but a normal class plus there is a additional feature to pass a parameter, right? So if you see a simple example, let's see, this is one box integer one class. This class has a integer box size as a property. uh, there is another class which is a box double, which has another box size property with double as a data type, right? So my requirement was like, initially, as per the business, there was requirement I have to create one class which will accept size of the box as an integer value, right? Now again, some requirement came into picture where the client is expecting that I should accept the size of a box as a double. So what I have to do, I have to do like I have to create two classes. One class will accept a box size as an integer, and another class will accept a box size as a double, right? So I've created two classes, right? So how Genix will help me to avoid the redundancy of code. So if you see the Genix, right, so Genix syntax is similar to the classes. Only here, it on the top of class, it provide me additional facility to pass the input type. During the compile time, I can pass the input type, and as per the input type, my processing will be done. Just like here, I can pass the integer, and based on the integer, this data, this property will have that data type accordingly. If I pass the double, this property will have the data type accordingly, right? So what Genix will help me, it will help me to reduce the redundancy. It will help me to reduce the code. It will help me to avoid the redundancy of code. It will allow me to write a generic code which can be used by passing different data type, right? So yeah. So basically, there are some of the advantages of generic. So first of before that, I wanted to tell you. Let us get very much familiar about how we define the generic class. We define a class, then class name, and here we type the input type. That's the most important part. Now, how generics will help me? Uh, Let me just go here. Okay, so here, like, when I defined the box integer class using the constructor, I was calling box double class using the constructor I was calling. Right. Same way. Now, when you want to use the generic class, you define the class, and it's a input type you have to define over here. Same, if you just see, right, how we define the input type, same we have to define over here. Okay. Then as a constructor I'm calling. So when this will be printing, it will be printing the integer value, right? Similar way, box double, I want to pass a the double as an input. So what I can do, I can define the double input type, and it will return with the print with the output. Okay. So what happened with the one class, all the duplicacy of code got removed, right? Yeah. Now coming to the advantage, a strong type check. So if you see this list is one interface. It's a interface. Okay. This interface is implemented by ArrayList class. This if you if I don't define like here like this, if I don't define, so I don't know what kind of input type this list will accept, right? So here I passed hi, this string I passed here again, this this uh, what to say, integer I passed here, double I passed, right? So how it's allowing different data type. So if you just see this symbol, it's accepting the object, it's accepting the object, and all the data type is a children of the object, so that's the reason it's allowing, right? But now what happened, when I want to retry the data from this array list, what is happening, it's giving me the compile time error. So what is error, it's saying like uh, in the data, in the memory, object is stored, but you're trying to store as a, while retrieving you want to retry and store as a string, right? So that's the reason it's asking me to cast it, right? It's asking me to cast it. So after casting, the issue error gone away. But like what happened if I define the generic, if I define generic input type, so I don't need to cast it. The casting unnecessary extra processing have been saved by the JVM. Okay. Now second point is like a strong check at compile time. So what happened here? I define the generic is accepting only the string data type. But if I try to store integer, right? So it will give me compile time error. So this helps us to give the error beforehand itself instead of into the runtime environment. And yeah, generic algorithm. So basically generics, here how I defined you, right? You can create a uh, class uh, as algorithm you can define, which will take the different input type, and it will do the processing. So that's the reason generics is aggressively being used. Okay. Now coming to methods, generic method. So now we understood like how generic class is being defined, and what is the syntax, right? Now coming to the method, let's see a simple example of a generic method. Okay. So here is just let me if you see if I write any method, so how I write method, I write the access specifier of the method, then I write the static. If the method is required to be static, I write that. Then if I guess I have, then I have to define the return type of the method, then I say name of the method, right? And if any method takes any input, then I define what type of data type the method is going to take. So integer, suppose that number one, then integer number two, these are the input the method is going to take. So right. Now with generic, so what is the difference between this normal method and generic method? So here the same way, here I don't know what is input type the customer is going to pass, right? So I just defined one input type, another input type. So only difference between this and this is like here I have to define how many input type we have to pass, and where to define, that is most important. Before the return type, before the return type of the method, you have to define in diamond whatever the number of input is going to pass. So here two different inputs we are passing, t and t1, so both you have to define. So this is the syntax. So I my intention is you guys like just get familiar, because once we proceed further for other videos, when we go for functional programming, so this will help us very much, right? Okay. Okay, bounded type parameters. So what is by mean by bounded type? Now let me take you to this example. Now okay, so this is my class. in this class I had a long. I want like the method, right? Whatever the customer will pass, they should pass uh, only the number, right? It should not be string or other data type, right? So I can bound that. So what is meant by bounding? Bounding in the sense, you defining like uh, this input type, right? This input type should not be any kind of, it should be it should be only those data type which extends number. So let me define over here number here also. Okay, so here what you are doing, when you come over here, when you come over here, if you try to pass any method, sorry, any other data type, it will give the error. Just like let me try to pass a hello, so it's giving me error. So here what we have done, we have restricted with the bound parameter type, that the input type should be only those data type which extends a number. So let me just go to here. If you see this number data type, number data type is being yeah, better let me take you to integer. Let me uh, either let me declare double. So if you see this double data type, right, it extends number, right? So that's the reason number data here, if I'm defined, when I pass the data to this method, right, because 10al is a double which extends number, so it's working fine. But if you see the string, right, let me just show the string. The string does not extend number, so it's a, yeah, string does not extend a number. So that's the reason it's not compiler itself throwing out error, because your method has been declared to accept only the data type which extend number, right? Okay, so after I remove it, the error gone away. Okay. Okay. So, guys, just to summarize again, the intention is to understand uh, the signature of the generic method, the signature of the generic class. That is the most important. Otherwise, the generic class and generic and normal class looks the similar way, similar same way. The generic method and other method looks the same way. There is no such differences. Only additional thing is like it provides us facility to pass any type of input type, input parameter type. That's the only difference between normal class and generic class. Okay, let me take one more example which I want to show you. So this is one method. Okay, this method accepting two input parameter, number one and array list. Okay, now what are the different input data type, input type we are expecting? So we are just expecting only one type of input type, right? This is here input, number of inputs are two, but input type is only one, right? Just t is only one input type. So that's the reason here in the method signature, before the void, before the void, or basically before the return type of the method, we just in diamond we have to define only one, we have to define only one uh, input type, right? there is a this is a parameter, but input type is only one. Generic input type is only one. So we define only one over here. Okay. So here I just wanted to show you guys what I wanted to display. Okay. So okay. So what is happening over here? Here I have created one array list, of integer. Here I added two values, and here I'm passing uh, 20 first parameter, and the second array list I'm passing. Okay. Now if I come over here, this is the first parameter, this is second parameter. uh, I'm navigating, I'm basically looping through the array list, and I'm comparing with the first value, whether the first value is greater than the array list value, right? But why it's giving this cannot be applied, this kind of message? Yeah. So the main reason is like this type, right? It's an object, it's not a primitive data type. So in generic, the most important thing is like the input type which you pass is not a primitive type, it's an object, right? So that's the reason when I'm trying to compare two object, the greater or equal symbol does not work for the object, it's only applicable for the primitive data type. Okay. So in case I want to make this working, right? So what I will do, this is one object, right? We are aware about the comparable, right? If you're not aware, that's fine, we'll cover it in some other lectures. But yeah, if I this is object, if this object extends comparable, right? Comparable. Okay. Now this comparable has feature, the feature is like compare to, this compare to, and if it's a greater than 0, then the number 1 is greater than number 2, the input. Okay. Now let me go and run this class, and let's see what output it's returning. Okay. So number one, that is 20 I passed over here, 20 I passed over here. This is greater than one of the array list object, that is 10. Yeah. So yeah. Now here how I called here, this is the uh, name of this is name of the object, and here I am using this method for calling. Here also I can define all the input type which this method is expecting. So here how I defined the input type, same way I can define. But if you want, you can ignore this portion also. Okay. So this is very much clear, guys. Okay. So intention of this genix, this tutorial is like to make you guys familiar the syntax, how we create a generic class, and how we create a generic method, because these are very much being used in the functional programming, right? Okay. So that's it from my side, guys. Thank you all for patience, and yeah, thanks, and keep watching and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.